Hi, my name is Sophie Summers and welcome to the Crossdressing Lifestyle channel. Today's video has been inspired by a request from the gorgeous Victoria Plum. I just love that name, I think it's so cool. Victoria's going to a 1930s or 1920s periodical sort of flapper party, and she was asking if there's a very quick and easy makeup look to do. So I've given it a bit of thought and come up with this particular look here. I've listed all the products we're going to use in this makeover tutorial, including the wig and where to get that from. So if you'd like to see how it's all created, please join me after the intro. So welcome back. Now I'm applying some primer here from the No7 range, this Airbrush Away, to provide me with a key for applying my foundation to. And the foundation we're using here is from the MAC Studio Waterweight range in shade NW18. This is a lightweight buildable foundation and the colour is actually quite light for this look. So I'm applying it with a synthetic brush all the way over along my neckline and everywhere. To aid with the drying, I'm using a beauty blender here and just patting it all in. This will help to even out the finish and speeds up the drying a little bit as well. Now this is a little bit of magic, which is the Art Harding Facelift. So I'm just tying them up here. If you want to find out a little bit more about them, in the description below I've got a couple of links that you can watch to see how I've attached them. So just a final push over with the beauty blender just to make sure all of the foundation is dried out and even. To set the foundation, I've used a very light translucent setting powder, a fine white colour here. Just dabbing it all over very, very lightly and working it into the foundation. I'm then going to take away all of the loose powder and just gently buff the translucent powder into my finished foundation look. I want a nice crisp look. So let's start off by doing the overall round sort of colouring underneath the eyebrows. We're using the MAC Pro Longwear colouring here. I'm going to get it all over the eye, in the socket line and actually over the eyelids themselves, so it's a nice base cover. Now before it dries, this cream dries nice and powdery, I want to buff it all in to make sure it's all even all the way around. So I've taken a nice soft buffing sort of brush and I'm just working it into the socket line and all the way around the eye area just to get a nice even finish all the way over. Moving on to the second colour now, which I'm going to be putting on the lid, and again it's the Longwear and this is in shade Groundwork. It's a nice creamy texture on this and it's quite a nice sort of even brown colour. Again, I'm going to be applying the same sort of technique of moving it all the way in along the socket line and all the way over the lid on both sides. Once again, I'm going to take a fresh, clean sort of buffing brush and just work it all the way into the socket line and make sure it's a nice even coverage all the way over. The blending is always the secret. And now I need to establish my very thin brows. I'm using the Eyebrow Styler in shade Spiked here. I find this particular brush or this particular sort of implement the easiest I can use for shaping the brows. It's very accurate. I've gone for a high arch thin line here. I've now taken the Kryolan face liner in number 21, which is a nice rich brown colour, and I'm working it inside the eye here to give a little bit of depth right along the lash line itself. Take it gently and push it in to the sort of lash area itself. Now moving on, I've taken a very dark or a black Proliner, liquid eyeliner here, and I'm working again all the way along the top of the lash here. I want a medium to thick line all the way along the top, and a little bit of a cat sort of flick at the end of the eye as well. This is going to be the basis or the guideline for putting on your false eyelashes. Take your time when you do this. Next is my favourite, putting on the false eyelashes. I've coated these Amazing Shine DB20s with the Duo Eyelash glue. If you haven't got any Duo, you can always use Copydex. Nice pair of open sort of tweezers, and just guide them into place. These are a medium to thick set of lashes. As I said, all the items we've been using in this makeover are listed down below in the description. Now once I've got my lashes on, I'm going to coat them with a thin coat of black mascara. This is just to blend my natural lashes into the false eyelashes. So for the top ones, I'm just slightly looking up and pushing the spool into my existing lashes and making sure they're joined together. For the lower lashes, what I'm doing is basically looking down into the mirror and just doing a seesawing back and forth motion. Now the lips are generally the central or the focal point of this particular look. I've taken the MAC lip liner in shade Brick, which is a nice red, and I'm feathering out the shape of the lip here. I want to make sure I've got nice, like tattooed and fine lines. Now I'm going to be adding the MAC Retro Matte Liquid lipstick onto this and building it up. Now the applicator that comes with the lipstick itself is pretty good, but in general I would use a tulip lip brush. It's a bit more precise, but on this particular occasion it worked very well. I'm just building the coats up. And once I'm happy with that, I'm moved on to the cheek area here, and I'm using this MAC Glow here. It's a very creamy consistency and it works in really well. You can build it up with several coats. I've just taken a light coat and I'm just brushing it in and working it in with this synthetic brush at the moment. Just layering it on the cheekbone. I've then taken this flat brush and I'm really going to be doing circular motions all over my cheekbone to work it in as fine as possible. You don't want to overdo the cheek definition at this stage. I found that this particular colour made it look a little bit more youthful. I'm taking it up to the temple as well. Now moving on to my favourite thing, which is the MAC Mineralised Skin Finish. I use this as a highlighter. I take it in all the sort of classic places, underneath the eyes, along the bridge of the nose, above the eye, around the eyebrows around there. Just work it in. Now the more you work this, the more reflective it gets. So work it in nicely. Not too much that it leads in your sort of crow's feet. A little bit along the jawline. Again, just working it in gently. At this stage I found the lips are a little bit dry, so I'm applying some Kryolan High Gloss in shade Vamp, which is a nice red colour, just to give the lips a good old pop. So this is a gloss. As always with glosses, don't put too much on because it can run later on. And of course, a little bit of a beauty spot. I've just used the MAC Khol Pencil in shade Smoulder, just a little dot in the Marilyn position. Now all we need to do is just pop on a relevant styled wig. I've just grabbed hold of one here. This is a short period, what I call a slant bob in black. Bit of pulling and tucking around. Just a final look in the mirror, just to make sure it's all okay. So voila, there you have it, the complete look with hair and a little bit of a choker down here and some 1930s inspired clothes. I hope you liked that video and found it quite helpful and interesting. Or as I said, all the products are listed down below if you'd like to have a look at those. All that really remains is if you like the video, please give it a good old thumbs up, that's much appreciated. If you've not already subscribed, please consider doing so, we'd highly appreciate that. And as always, the last thing that remains for me to say is stay gorgeous.